A case against Debbie Deneen for rules violations.
Make motion to table.
Second.
Improper motion, continue.
Excuse me, could I have the parliamentary rule on this, please?
Parliamentary. Thank you. Could you rule on the motion to table, please?
Motion to table would be in order at this time.
Chair rules it's an improper motion. Continue.
Oh my.
I challenge the chair.
Second.
Is that legal?
The challenge is improper. Continue.
Challenge is never improper.
Continue.
The member can challenge the ruling of the chair. You made a ruling. Motion's been made to challenge the ruling of the chair. And who seconded it?
I did.
Council Cruz seconded.
Another point of it, but there was a motion on the floor by Councilor Cruz to table, and it was properly seconded by another member here. So there are actually two motions on it.
Well, no, the motion right now is challenge the ruling. Actually, challenge the chair, and a yes vote would sustain the ruling of the chair. A no vote would overrule the ruling of the chair, and then Councilor Cruz's motion then would have to be on the floor.
Chair rules an improper motion. Continue.
That's been a proper challenge of the chair since the end of the vote.
We are not going to allow this to become a mockery.
You just
Everyone knows the situation here. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Congress, Brockton. Oh, you don't.
Parliamentarians relieved of his duties. Continue, please.
Speaking of the man.
If I may try to bring a sense of responsibility to him. Whether or not you agree or disagree with that chairman, he is that chairman right now, what I've been asked to do is to set the table. That's what I will continue to do for the moment if you would give me the courtesy of at least setting the table. This meeting has been adjourned based upon the notice that each of us as members have received, focused on the removal of the of members based upon a violation of Article 2, Section 5B of the State Democratic Charter, publicly endorsing candidates against the nominee of the Democratic Party. Let me set this also clear.
Point of order.
A two-thirds vote of those present and voting is needed for removal of a quorum
You have to listen.
of 25 members or more. When I finish what I'm doing, I'll be happy to listen. Okay?
I'm sorry.
The Sergeant at Arms has the floor.
Oh, my word.
Only members as of March 1st, 2011 are eligible to vote. We clarified that those in the room are eligible to vote. Is that correct? Okay, so everybody in this room is eligible to vote. We would, to ensure a fair and accurate vote tally and to minimize confusion and duplication, the meeting is only open to members of the Brockton Democratic City Committee. What I've been asked to do as the appointed sergeant at arms was to read the violations and present the findings of the board. The individuals that are identified will be given 5 minutes to respond in relationship to the charges if they so choose. And then as a committee, you would be asked to vote by a ballot on whether or not to remove the individual from the committee. Again, a two-thirds vote of those present and voting of a quorum of 25 or more, which we have, would be needed to be removed from the committee. That's the setting.
I motion for a voice vote.
We have a state committee person here who's trying to
Roll call
turn.
vote.
I wanted to just, may I ask a point of order on what you just said?
Through the chair.
Through the chair, I ask you, and that ballot that you're talking about, is it a signed ballot or an unsigned ballot?
Unsigned.
Absolutely forbidden by the charter of the state committee. All of the ballots are signed. I
Then
just want to
everybody
point
is
that out to
signed.
you. I want to point that out to you.
Continue.
I'm not through to continue on to ask you additional, so that the rules of what has been established here has been taken from the bylaws of the state committee.
This particular rule that's been violated comes from the bylaw of the state committee.
Then why did not it?
I'll say this and say it once. We cannot, as a small body, with no one being paid and no expert people working for us, be expected to possibly write down every single occurrence, instance, situation, or otherwise that could possibly ever happen in a situation of a bylaw or a charter. We would have a document 100,000 pages long, it still might not cover every single instance.
But Steve, if I may ask you, so that we did not have any rules within our bylaws, the Brockton Democratic City Committee bylaws, that covered this incident, whatever it is that your Sergeant at Arms is going to bring up. Is that correct?
That comes from the state.
No. The question is, do we have it in our bylaws?
Our bylaws refer to whenever we don't have anything specifically addressed in our bylaws, we go to the state.
Does it say that in the
May I ask?
Again, just back to what I just said, we cannot possibly write down every single situation, every single possible occurrence. Look, the bottom line is this. If we got this kind of attendance at our meetings, we might be able to do something. But the fact of the matter is we have about 20, 25 people at every meeting, and it's always the same 20. But
Can I ask one more question? Do you have the written complaint? There has to be a written complaint in order to do this. Do we have a written complaint?
what kind of a written complaint?
It says removal procedures may only be initiated by a written complaint submitted to the chairperson. This is the state rules, if that's what we're going
Are
by.
you going by the state rules totally? Or are you
We're
going
going
by
by the rule that Larry already read to you, Article 2, Rule 5, subsection B, which, believe me, I've read 1,000 times
I'm sure.
in the last 2 months.
But like all of
The purpose of what's happening here, and I'm not talking about you particularly, but a lot of you out here, have come here with the express purpose to try to disrupt this hearing, put it off, fool around, break it down. It's not going to happen. We have a rules violation. You are going to get a chance to vote. If you do not agree with what we are doing, if you think it's okay to endorse Republicans or members of other parties against your own party, then vote no. It's as simple as that. You're all going to get a vote. Say it at the ballot box. It's not fair to have anybody have to raise their hands or put their name on something to be subject to the kind of ridicule and harassment that I've been under for the last 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm not going to put any of you through that. It's just not right.
Well, they do have to sign, if you're going by, you see, you can't pick and choose. You can't pick pick and choose from the state committee. But the most important thing, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to sit down and I'm going to let some other people speak. I'm going to tell you something. We've got people here from the press. We've got outside people. We've got Mr. Greenblatt, God bless him, been around politics for years. Run for mayor, I don't know how many times. How many times? All right.
Please, bring it to a
I
point.
don't, listen, yes, I'm a member of this committee and I have a right to speak in it. That
But
this
bring
is
to a point,
America.
please,
and
Al. I
will
don't want to
speak.
have a fight.
But why would you people want to bring disgrace and a lack of understanding about the democratic values that we are, when we can't get 25 people to a meeting, when there could be a time to sit down and negotiate and work with and explain and educate people who might have stepped out of place without turning it. You're the one. You're saying we're turning it into a circus. I'm just saying you can't be throwing people up without a set of rules.
As far as, you got a problem with the state rule, take it up with Joan
No,
Brown.
you didn't follow the state rules.
We're not following it.
We're
You're
following.
not following the state rules.
I'm not going to go back and forth forever. But
All
we're
right, but
following-
I'm just saying to you, I
Article 2.
apologize to all of you. I am absolutely humiliated and embarrassed as a Democrat and as a Democratic State Committee woman that I have to I am humiliated, because I believe in democratic values, and that's why I've been at every meeting for as many years as this thing has been going on. All right? And so has Paul Sullivan.
Ellen, question.
Yeah.
On our bylaws, right, have they been accepted by the state?
I don't think so. I think it's all, it's
they're
local,
not
it's
accepted
local.
by the state,
No, it's local,
then they
because
go
the
by
state doesn't
the
accept
state
our
charter.
bylaws. Then fine, but they didn't go by the state charter. If they had, then I wouldn't be able to say anything.
Article 2, section,
No.
Article 2, Article 5, section C.
Absolutely did not do anything by the state charter. If you want to go back to the bylaws of the state committee and you want to extend this thing out so we all look like absolute fools, go right ahead.
It already looked that way when there was Democrats and back of Republicans.
I do not agree with Democrats backing Republicans. I don't. But I don't think that this is the way to solve that, is to create the spirit and the organization and the belief. If we are being killed nationally, we're going to be killed statewide, we're going to be killed locally, and it'll be people that will be out of their position. So this is not the way to go about building an organization. And I will not go into it.
All right, she's right. It is embarrassing. It's embarrassing that we have members of the Democratic City Committee, the leadership arm of the Democratic Party in Brockton, that see fit to endorse candidates against our elected, duly elected, nominated candidates. She's right. It is embarrassing. And I
That's
have
what I was
disagreed.
embarrassed about.
I know that. Sergeant at Arms, please continue. We're going to get through this phone. It takes all night. You got your 5 minutes to speak. When you turn comes up. You have your 5 minutes when you turn comes up. Very quickly and keep it in line.
Brockton Enterprise today said there would be no outside people at this meeting. Larry Curtis read off in the last of his statement, there'd be no outside people except members of the Democratic Committee. What's going on up here?
My name is Steve Foote, not Steve Danish. I have no control over what the enterprise is. Okay?
Larry Curtis just read it off.
We got the right to go into executive session if it gets out of control, and we don't have that many people here. The people are being very nice, so I don't have a problem with that. If the people were yelling out in the background, we could go into an executive session, at which point it would be members only.
Please do whatever you want.
We were not
That was the only
100%.
thing.
We were not 100% sure where the meeting is being held in the school building, whether or not we could keep the public out. That's why we did not enforce that.